Beside us to guide us, our God with us joining, ordaining, maintaining His kingdom divine. So from the beginning, the fight we were winning. Lord, thine be all the glory, the victory is thine.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching this video from. I want to officially welcome you to our 4-day relationship symposium, and our theme is Relationships Recalibrated. So today is a very wonderful day, and we're going to be talking on a very important topic on recalibrating family relationships. And today, I have the honor to welcome our speaker, Dr. Ifoma Obiunwa, who happens to be the Dasan Youth and Children Teachers Coordinator of Onitsha Diocese of the Watchman Catholic Charismatic Renewal Movement. She's someone who has been a family person, someone I admire so much, and I am very excited here to welcome her to come and speak to us on recalibrating family relationships. I urge you to pay attention, and God bless you as you watch the program.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. From wherever you're watching us, I say welcome to this program. The program is titled Recalibrating Relationships. In the present time we are in now, we need to talk about our relationships. And today, I'm going to take us on recalibrating family relationships. I want to ask a question, or say there is a saying we know very well that says that there is no place like home. I don't know how many of us still believe in that. If you are watching us from anywhere, can I see your emoji in the comment section showing that you are live with us? And then tell me what you think about that saying that there is no place like home. How many of us still believes that there is no place like home? Of course, I still believe, but I don't know how many of our young people that still believe that there is no place like home. Ordinary home should be a place where even anything that is happening to you anywhere, you try to run home. So today, as I said, I'm talking on recalibrating family relationships. Now let's go and see why some people, I can see in comment section, some are agreeing and some are not agreeing. But by the end of this program, or by the end of this teaching, we'll be able to adjust and know where we have to, do things we're supposed to do, so that we join in the chorus that there is no place like home. Family should be a place where we are loved and where we are cared for. So let's move on. So now it says recalibrating. Let's first of all calibrate the family relationship so that we can now recalibrate. Let's calibrate first. First of all, we want to assess the current family relationship state, the state of our family relationship. That word relationship, it has to do with communication. It has to do with relating with one another. And in that case, we found out that there is no relationship. Rather, instruction, giving orders, go and do this. Like in family, is not a place most times where people can say, I accept this. Okay, let's do it that way. There is no compromise. That is where I'm going most of the time as it stands. In most families, there is no compromise. Why? Why is it that everything has to go by instruction, by orders? There is no table to sit and decide things. All we know, mommy said, daddy said, my brother said, my elder brother said. What about you? It's as if you are not in the picture. So let's run. The expectation, let's define the expectation in family relationship. The true essence of family and related issues, like God's original plan for creating the family setting. The parents expect, the parents' expectation for the children and the expectation of the children towards the parent as well. There are expectations from our families. Parents actually expect the children to just obey the instruction, the orders, despite whether it is good for them or not. But actually, it's expected that parents should give a good instruction to their children. And it's expected they should obey. These are the expectations. So the children are on the opposite side, and they are just obeying the instructions from parents. And they are trying to struggle to do it. They do so much hypocritical, things, in the sense that they do what the parents expect from them when the parents are there. But when the parents are not there, what happens? That is the situation. That is this how it is. So let's move on and see more about that. Now, the children are expected to behave in a particular format, not minding what they feel or what they think. That is how it is. And the children are just obeying. I would just say it's just like obedient compliance. And in such case, I see it as they lack self-control. Because once the parents are not there, they are loose. But when the parents are there, they are just obedient compliant. But they don't really obey when the parents are not there. That is an issue. So next one is establish communication channels. Communication gap. There is communication gap. That is what we are calibrating as it is. There is communication gap. And that is why the children are not obeying the way they should obey. They are not obeying willingly. There is no willingness because they don't understand why that instruction is being given. They don't know why they should do what they asked to do. They are just following, mommy said. They're obeying what the parents just say. And why they are doing it is just to stay out of trouble. I remember one of the days when I was in that table, but now I'm not in that space anymore by the special grace of God. But when they say, why? I asked one of my children, why are you doing this? He said, mommy, it's not what you said I should do. We do what you say you should do. I say, do what I say you should do. What it implies is that the children are like they're being, they are just like robots. Sorry. They are just like robots. He said, tell me to go here, I go. Even when you are seeing something you should take another decision. You should kind of be proactive. In fact, it's not making us to be our children to be proactive. They are just obeying, whether it is good or not good, even when they are there, when they are not there. Let's move on. Another thing is aligning with our family values and goals. The children try to align what you believe and hold dear, what you hold dear and what you want to achieve. That is aligned with the values and goals. And the children, sometimes these are the family goals or family values, and you try to go by that value, whether it is comfortable for them or not. Why should I behave this way and why should I do this way? It's not being explained. Okay, now let's recalibrate in relationships. Remember when we started, we talked about the situation at hand, how it is in our families, where instructions and orders are given. Nobody is like, saying, Daddy has said, that ends it, final, full stop. Or mommy has said, parents have said, oh, my senior said so. But you don't understand why it is. Now let's recalibrate. Let's reevaluate the expectations. I want to say here, if you look around you, I can see some people making some comments at the comment section. Anyway, we get there. So if we really look at it properly, is there any angel around you in your family? Is there anybody like an angel? Me, I am not an angel. I want us to reevaluate our expectation. You may be expecting much from me, but I want to say that I am not an angel. Neither is the children or siblings, are they angels? We need to evaluate our expectations there, that when we are doing some things, we should also put ourselves in the shoe of each other. You are sending me on an errand, at least assess that errand. Such that if I happen to go to that errand and I didn't succeed very well, consider that actually, especially when I have put in my best, consider that errand took me some things. And if there is any way it's not done as expected, the way it is handled is what we are concerned about. In recalibrating relationship, our expectations from each other, we should first of all address our mindset that nobody is an angel, and nobody is above mistakes. We need to understand the environment we operate in and be able to accommodate each other. Remember, it is a relationship. It is not a one-sided thing. In a family, we have father, mother, and children, siblings, and all that. We have all these people together. In fact, we even have extended, that is relatives, which we call extended family members. Sometimes we can incorporate this, and there should be a relationship, there should be a link, and we should have boundaries at the same time. And being a relationship, everyone's opinion should count. That's what we are trying to recalibrate. It's not a point where it is only one-sided. Sometimes I come to realize that the best way to relationship in when we are expecting or what we're expecting from each other is to support each other in order to meet our expectations. If you support me in what I'm doing and I support you in what I'm doing, being a family relationship, I think it should foster a kind of it should foster reliability, and it should encourage one another to move on. And that is why we are here to recalibrate. I'm so glad that some of us are making comments here, and we are not here to do anything different from addressing issues. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is addressing conflict and issues, maybe cultivating effective skill of conflict resolution in the home. Sometimes family, when issues come up in the family, you find out that sometimes parents like we wait for morning devotion, especially in the morning, and everybody gather. It is time to judge everybody. I have been on that seat. In fact, I have been in that space, and it doesn't yield results. And I know my children are here. Some of them may be seeing me and what I'm saying. They can bear witness. In fact, Most parents, they will always wait. Those that maybe not hit or floor, or shout or even say something. Some will wait until morning devotion. I call it, MD, morning devotion judgment seat. MD. Forgive me. I was in that space before. But if we want to create a good relationship, we are recalibrating, remember. And if we are recalibrating relationship, family relationship, we need to do it in the right way, especially in this evolving world. We can't afford to be living a family where everybody is on his own. Everywhere there is chaos. In fact, we need to calm down. Everybody needs to relax. Everybody, including parents. I'm not sparing anybody here, even myself. I will talk about my own scenario and I will share it with you. The most important thing, we want to have a family where one another is respected and when another is loved. Where our opinion counts. Even when somebody makes suggestion, it didn't make any meaning. It doesn't mean that you will not, or maybe it doesn't flow. You didn't like the suggestion the person make. It doesn't mean that you should throw the person away completely. You can guide gradually, you find a way to play it down. Let not person feel like he's embarrassed. So I'm talking about conflict resolution and I'm talking about the morning devotion judgment seat. Many of you, if you have been in that table or it is still happening in your family, can I see your emoji in acceptance that you agree with what I'm saying? Of course, I know what I'm saying. Morning devotion is time everybody gather. Like you. Ijoma. Yesterday, you didn't remember it upon all the things Pastor said it. And many of you are still continuing doing it. Come and see. Bringing one judgment or the other. Early morning, no. In fact, in that kind of judgment seat, the person's day is already spoiled. I want to put it here that we parents, if there are parents here listening to me, please, let's come down from that judgment seat in our morning devotions. Because most times we spoil our days, including yourself that is all. Because by the time you finish that judgment, you have not resolved any issue. You have never solved the problem. And I want to bring it here that most problems are best solved through communication. And that brings me to refine communication. In your communication, when you are communicating to one another, there is nothing stopping us from being polite. Hey, please, can you come and do this? Can you do this? In fact, for me, if you are working with your child and every time, hey, Choma, before I come back today, make sure you have cleaned the whole house, you have washed the plates, you have done all the things I asked you to do. It's not when I go out now, you start pressing phone. That is our language, pressing phone. Hey, I used to say that one too much. Is it not phone you are pressing? You have been pressing phone. Oh my God. And those things irritate some of our young ones that are still living with our parents. And these are the things when we begin to say this thing, it helps them. We are not communicating in short. It makes them to even stay far away from us. But what stops you from saying it this way? You can call Shoma, please. Shoma, will you prefer washing the dishes before cooking the food? By so doing, it is polite. You are being polite. In fact, you are saying it in the right way. And the person will do even much more. There is a way you will use words and it will not go down well, no matter whom the person is. Shouting when we are talking doesn't help issues. So let's try and come down from that space. It is no more existing. It doesn't work. Most times, children are not, and our family members, we don't feel at home anymore because of how the home is like a hot seat. Okay, let's read some scriptures, but I will read from Psalm 113, verse 1, and they say, a song of degree of David. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. When brethren dwell in unity, it is something good. Then verse 2 says, it is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the bed, even Aaron's bed, that went down to the skirts of his garment, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. That is the peace the children in our families. When communications and when instructions are done politely, it gives strength. It makes the presence of God to flow in our families. What am I talking about? I still want to talk about siblings and siblings. In fact, you find out that most times the senior ones tend to bully the young ones, directly doing the same thing some of the parents do. Instruction. Everybody needs to recognition. I want to be obeyed. You must obey me. I am the senior. I want to say here, obedience is not gotten by force. It is what you do and how you do things that brings obedience to you. If you respect people, definitely you must gain respect. But if you are somebody that talks down on somebody in your family because you are the eldest brother, the Ada of the house, as you normally say, Adu, and because you are that, one person was saying, imagine me, the Ada of the house. My father doesn't recognize me as the Ada. In fact, there was one I had that happened. Though it wasn't good, but the way she was saying it, she was just really talking seriously about the Ada. But at the same time, they do not like the same way their parents used to talk to me. My problem now is, why is it that you, as sibling, you don't like the way some parents are doing it, but you are replicating the same thing they are doing? Of course, that is what is happening in parenting now. That's what most of the things our parents are doing. They are doing it with a good intention that they want to have good children. Ask every parent. They will tell you they will have one good, and they want to make their children obey. And they think the only way to make us obey is by forcing, instruction on us. There are so many ways we can do it. Sometimes when I have read through the Bible, why Jesus was living and the way he lived with the apostles, it was just communication. It was just by simple instruction. Even in the midst of mistakes, Jesus doesn't really, crucify them. He calls them closer and explain. That is how family setting should be. Sometimes I do remember the case of Peter, where he said, I go a-fishing, leaving the master's instruction. Permit me to draw some inspiration from there. When I read that account, I saw Jesus playing the role of a father indeed. You may say it is Jesus, but we need to learn from what Jesus did. In that case, Peter, at a point in time, got overwhelmed. That was what happened. And immediately he got overwhelmed. What did he do? He went fishing. He needed space. He needed some fresh air. He felt that he can get the fresh air by going fishing. And immediately he went fishing. Others say, we go with you. And immediately they went. Jesus came and intercepted. The first thing Jesus did was to give them, let them cast your net at the rise. And the funny thing is that they toiled all right. They suffered. That one is sure. When you go astray, you will labor in vain. Let's take note of that. I say, when you go astray, you labor in vain. It happens. But Jesus came in. Thank God Jesus came to help them. And immediately, he gave them that fish. At the end, look at how Jesus handled the situation. And after that situation, Peter never went back again. In fact, at a point, Peter was disciplined. He said, shaping a fish where you want. He gave him fish to eat. But at the end, the blow now came at the right time. The discipline, the word came. He said, lovest thou me more than this. But a typical situation in our family, we say, Peter, upon you deny me 3 times. That one is not enough, right? You, in fact, you are crucifying me the very second time. After you denied me. 3 good times, so crow and you went. What kind of crocodile tear is that? This fishing you went fishing, is it not? You are just showing me that thing you denied me, it didn't even touch you. That is what we would have done in our set if something happened. And I want us to learn. We are recalibrating relationship. Things cannot continue in the same way. The world is evolving. Things are changing. We need a lot of knowledge, wisdom to hold on in our families. And everybody will be at peace. And I want us to look into that carefully. When any scenario plays out in your family, ask yourself, pause a while. Your pausing will help you to think right. Most of the things we do is as a result of reflect action. We don't really, think before we do. We don't have hold of our minds. We move by emotions. And that is why everybody should look out to how to guide his or her emotion. In every action you are doing, your emotion is important. Very, very important in the family. So let's take note of that. Now let's talk about realigning values and goals. There is a place of redefining your goals and values in the family. If you don't understand your goals and values in the family, you will always have issues. So that is why you must know your family goals and then know direction to go. You don't need to just do anything. I take, for instance, in the case of the Egyptian, permit me to draw inference from there. If your family is a place that it is not allowed when you to wear some kind of attire, why will you wear it? Have you learned it? It's a place they don't allow you to wear kind of attire. There is a dressing code that is acceptable in your family. It is part of your family values. It's expected one should go by that family values. Let's draw an inspiration from the case of Moses and where he went in the book of Exodus. I can't really remember the very chapter, but in the book of Exodus, where Pharaoh was telling Moses to go and sacrifice to that they can sacrifice to the Lord and leave their children, leave this sacrifice in their land, maybe that place. And Moses told them that they don't want to sacrifice the abomination of Egyptians. What does that mean? So in the sacrifice they will do, you know that they will sacrifice cow and they will sacrifice sheep to the Lord. But cow and sheep is being hallowed in the land of Egypt. You can imagine what the Egyptians will do to them if they offer sacrifice in the land of Egypt there. They will slay them. There is a part of a area in this country, in Nigeria, where I'm talking from. You've got a part of area where you don't touch certain kind of snakes. If you dare touch it there, they will, because they regarded it as deity. So I'm just drawing friends from there. How can you sacrifice the abomination of Egyptian in the land of Egypt? That was what Pharaoh told Pharaoh, and told him that we must go to the right place to do it. What am I trying to bring out here? Our family values must be respected. We must know them and walk by it. And also, I want to also bring out another issue. There are some goals, some things we set, boundaries we set in the families that are not necessary. There are boundaries that are not necessary. Sometimes we need to allow some space. Like I was saying, when you want to talk to somebody, go and cook, go and do this, or do this, cook, clean the house, do this. You can equally call her, hello, my dear, can you just do this before this? Will you prefer doing this before doing that? It is good. At the same time, you have already communicated the same thing. You don't need to be, you don't need to show authority so much, or that others, so that they will know you are the El Shaddai of your house. Because if you didn't do it that way, or the lion of the tribe of Judah, lion of the tribe of your family, let me not say lion of the tribe of Judah, because it's God that is the lion of the tribe of Judah. But you are the lion of the tribe of your family. Everybody is on the race whenever they hear you coming back. I was a victim of such when I was growing up, where a person I lived with, but I say it's a relation, my brother-in-law that I live with. He's a very nice person, though he's late now. Thanks be to God about his life anywhere. But in that time, we are very small. Anytime we see him, because we always be at the step upstairs where we sight his vehicle coming back. Once we see the vehicle coming back, both us, the children, everybody, what you will hear, Daddy is back. Everybody be running, picking this, picking that. The ideal thing should have been, when children hears that we are coming back, they should come out to embrace us. Praise ye the Lord. Thank you so much for this moment. I know that some of the youth and some of our young adults are saying, say it, say it. It's not all about it. But at the same time, I have already said it on our own side. Why do you want to go against those family values, especially those ones you know that are really family values? Respect boundaries. Respect our parents, and everything will be fine. And I know the Lord will help us in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Before I continue, I go to the aspect of trauma and the childhood experiences or things like that. Permit me to refer to the aspect of emotional, social, and psychological bonds between individuals connected by birth, marriage, adoption, or other family ties. There should be a mutual emotional relationship. There should be support to one another. And that support is what we want to really talk about. Family is where empathy, love, care, and support should be. That is why we say that there is no place like home. Everybody should treat one another with much love and care. I am not speaking against discipline here. Discipline is important, but we should know how we discipline one another. It's very, very important in this present time. We can see that the world is so chaotic that family should come together. When the family is in peace, joy is there, happiness is there, everybody will thrive. There is no need of struggling. The struggle will be less. In this aspect, it's expected that everyone should understand that psychologically or in terms of relationship, we have a relationship with one another. Let's treat one another with love, support. Let's also have trust and communicate properly. I want to talk also on the aspect of where you find yourself where sorting does not exist. What do I do? Okay, in that support, we should be able to have an open communication. Our communication should be open, honest. Let's bring it to where everyone will have the opportunity to communicate. Most times, parents do not have the opportunity to have a communication with their children. They don't have that space where they can interact. Remember, we are talking about relationship. If you cannot interact with somebody you say you are related to, then what is it for? Communication is important. Bottling up emotions, especially in the family front, can be likened to burying a corpse. You don't need to bottle emotions. Some are so heavy to bottle up. You can talk it over. Find a space to talk it over. Discuss it. Communicate. Don't just leave it like that. It is very, very dangerous. It is uglier each time it is dug up. It pains to the bone marrow. So the best thing is to bring it up to the table, discuss it. If you are a young person here that is finding it difficult to communicate with your parent, please find a space. There are some things you need to work out on yourself as somebody that is growing up, as a youth as well. You don't allow parents to push you to the wall, to the point where you now, you resort to shouting so at you. I want to tell us, you can control that emotion. For instance, you see somebody, your parent is talking and talking and repeating. It is good you have this space where you can say, hey, please, I'm so sorry. This word should not lack in our lips. We should always find a way to say it. And so that the situation will not be dragged to the point that it will escalate. I was having a conversation with one of our youths. She was seriously bitter. The same mommy. At this my age, my father slapped me. Immediately she said, my father slapped me. You see the emotion. You see the pain. You see, in fact, it wasn't really fun. I had to calm her down. Thank God she understood. But one thing I asked her, that thing that was happening was going to the point of your father slapping you. Couldn't you have emotionally used wisdom to hold it? It could be you are talking while he was talking. That is the only one of the reasons. I'm not saying that is the only way. But by the time I finished talking with her, I told her most of the time when you see your parent talking and talking, sometimes keeping silent, there are ones when you keep silent, it will be even worse. Okay, I'm talking there, and you are keeping quiet. You're not saying it, Igbo, sir. So sometimes the best thing to say, I'm sorry, sir, please, sir. Please, I'm sorry, daddy, please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. At least it will calm the situation, the environment. You see that the person is already flared up. As a young person, this person I'm talking about should be around 20 years. Why will your parents beat you at age of 20? It shouldn't be. There should be a wisdom you should apply personally. It could be you have dragged it to so much to some point that it was unbearable. That is another aspect we need to work on. on yourself. So in a situation where you do not have the opportunity to communicate properly, it is necessary to seek help, please. Seek help. We have therapists that you can talk to, and they can help you and guide you. At least by the special grace of God, I can still help out in some situation like that. Also, in a family, there should be a sense of belonging, identity, connection to the family unit, to every member of the family. In fact, it is the best thing is not even to leave the family because maybe things are getting worse. But we will get there. Let's move on because of our time. Let's try to talk about the aspect of the trauma. Assuming you find yourself in a space where you are traumatic, maybe from childhood you had trauma, you had issues that weighed you down. That is still like having it is creating serious, a problem to your life. How do you think about it? Many of us have been abused. Many of us have been, a lot of things has happened in our lives. How do we take care of certain? Please, you need to calm down. The most important thing is to understand that you are having trauma. But one way you can understand, or you will find out that you are having trauma in the family, is when you are a type that doesn't like coming home. Whenever you remember coming home, if you remember coming home, you just feel depressed. There is a trauma that is going in your life, and you need to deal with it. If you continue with it, it will get you depressed. And if you are not careful, you start replicating it even to your siblings. That is why you see the senior ones in the family are even bullying the younger ones. What do you think about it? It's the same thing you are replicating. But you need to tell yourself the truth and help yourself in this aspect. The first thing to do, as I said, when you notice that these things are happening, you are the person that is afraid of them, please try to understand your environment, understand your family values, understand how it was. Running away from family does not save you, because most times it makes many of us to align with people we should not align with, make friends with people we should not make friends with, because we are running away from family. And what you have to also have at the back of your mind is that your parents don't have bad intention about it. They just want to have a child that they can, rely on. Then they feel that is the best way. But that actually isn't the best way. But will you now say, because they're not doing it, you run away from the home? No. A home is a place where you come, you will support each other. You need to devise this means in order to support your family. Help one another. Like I said, there are some things you can do for yourself. There are some places you can, get some knowledge, get wisdom, get some skill that can help you fight those areas you are being traumatic, or those areas we are having trauma. Okay, there are some people that are feeling, because my family background is my family background. Please, let me just tell you the truth. Jesus never even came from a palatable background. Counting from he's from the tribe of Judah, the root of Jesse. Count to Boaz. The case of Naomi now. It was from that tribe, Boaz, Jesse, and so on, before he came down to the lineage of Jesus Christ. Jesus did not come down from a palatable home. That is the truth. Even many people that think that is because of their family background, I want to tell you that Jesus' case wasn't from a royal family, so to say. In fact, he was even insulted. This one you are talking about, is he not the son of this carpenter? That has been a sin. Is there anything good that can come out from Nazareth? But didn't good thing come out from Nazareth? These are the areas you start from in order to get yourself healed. Our Savior Jesus did not come from a wonderful royal home, as to say, but he is the King of Kings. He is the Lord of Lords. Find a way to empower yourself. Don't stay in your mud. David said something. Say, I will fall 7 times, but I will still rise 7 times. Even if you have made mistakes in the past, it is time for you to start drawing, healing, drawing from the well of healing. Get yourself healed. Get yourself equipped with information. Don't remain there. Don't give so many excuses. I want you to know there is no excuse you are giving That is the reason why you will not help build your family and make your family be a place of the Lord. And I want to tell you the truth that the world does not have enough crushes for all your name excuses. There is still solution. That is where I am going. Don't just throw it up. If you have made mistake, I say start again. Start today. There are things you didn't do well. You have gone, walked away from home. Please return home. The Lord is interested. It could be you that the Lord is going to use to save that situation. You may be in a family where parents are still quarreling, fighting, using abusive words to one another. Please, the change can begin from you. Start using good words on your siblings, those ones you can control. You may not control what you are saying to your parents now because you are still living with them. But what about you that is living alone? You are now a young adult. Though you have not married, but yet, how do you talk to your siblings? How do you handle them? How do you refer to them? Do you take them as nothing? It shouldn't be in that way. We should be able to incorporate love, empathy. Remember, family is about relationship. It's about one another. It's about caring for one another. It's about supporting one another. It is not a place we just throw in everything to the mud. It's a place where care, where love, where kindness. That is why we say there is no place like a home. Think about it. How are you treating one another? How are you living with one another? Get healed from those traumatic situations. I once had such situation. I was on that page. But when I realized that my parents do have good intention, they do have a good intention. Do your parents love you? Yes. If you ask me, go to their table, ask them, do you know their thoughts towards you? They love you, but most of the time, it's not that methodology some of them are using. It's not working. That is why we need to learn. Knowledge is power. When you get the knowledge, seek knowledge in any area you are having deficiency in relationship in your family. As it stands, a person of my type, it is difficult for me not to be able to navigate or relate with any kind of person in my environment. I will be able to manage it by the special grace of God. Because when you have knowledge and believe in yourself, there is no mountain that you cannot, pull down. There's no mountain that you cannot cross. With Jesus by your side, with the Lord by your side, and with the principles, lay down principles, workable principles, with knowledge and skill in that field where you are being deficient, you will be able to excel. Seek knowledge. You know what the Bible said? It said, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. Why you are still struggling in that situation? Because you have never gotten adequate knowledge and information how you can thrive. Please seek help. And when you do that, the Lord will help you to succeed. And the Lord will give you the grace. Family is a place where empathy, where love, where care, and where everyone is loved. I can see people making some comments in the comment section. I will address those questions in a short while. I can just send you some answers because of our time. But I want to encourage every one of us, come on board, build your family, support your family. Do not let your family fall backwards. Be the one to encourage one another. We have recalibrated a new dimension of relationship so that everyone can be cared and loved. Thank you for listening, and may the Lord bless us in Jesus' name.
Wow, wow, wow. That was a very, very wonderful session from our mommy. I learned a lot about the family front and how to politely ask for things you want to get done. And I want to tell us that this is not a time to blame your parents and be like, you want to show your parents this video. Take it in for yourself. You will not remain a young adult forever. You would one day become a parent. And if you don't take this information seriously, you will end up doing what your parents did that you are complaining about currently. Because there is something about childhood trauma. It doesn't just end with you having childhood trauma. It goes a long way into becoming a part of you. That even though you don't like it, but your psychology, your mind has registered it as a normal thing. So when you get to the stage your parents currently are, you get to duplicate what they did. You just pass it down. In psychology, it is called transgenerational trauma. A situation where you pass down things your parents pass down to you, to your offspring. In psychology, it is called transgenerational trauma. A situation where you pass down things your parents gave you to your offspring. So it's not enough to be angry that your parents treated you the way they did. If you check very well, you would see that they did what their parents did. And their parents did what the parents of their parents did. It's just a line that with the right information you can break out of that circle. So I really do hope that you learned a lot about um recalibrating family relationships and getting better. When you put this information to practice, you see that the family becomes enjoyable, a place where you will miss when you leave it. Some of us, when you travel, you don't miss your family, and it's a problem because we are social animals, and human beings naturally are supposed to be drawn to their immediate environment. So when you see that you are beginning to detach from your immediate environment, then that is a problem. And I believe that from what our mommy has taught us, you should be able to handle that. I want to quickly drop some words for those of us who are traumatized, those of us who have passed through a lot, not just from the family perspective or from people or from the normal things we see. I want to talk to those of us who have been traumatized by things like rape. You've been accused falsely, people have done things terribly to you, you've gone through heartbreak. Somebody has served you very hot breakfast and you don't even know how to take it. I want to quickly drop a word for you. Now, in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 11, the Bible said, "And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, and the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. My attention is drawn to the part that says, "whose seed is in itself." The day I was reading this particular passage of the Bible recently, there's just an insight that dropped in my mind that God had the freedom to create trees to have seeds separately and then fruits separately. But no, he made it that the seed must be inside the fruit. So that when you want to get to the seed, you must pass through the fruit. And guess who else knows this particular passage of the Bible very well? The devil. Remember, he was there during the creation. He must have known the mystery behind the seed and the fruit. I'm not talking about mango, oranges, and all of that. I'm talking about you being a fruit of God's creativity and having a seed in you. And that seed is the seed of greatness. That seed in you is the breath of life that God gave Adam when he was creating him. And when the devil wanted to have access to this seed, he had to go through Eve. He had to go through the fruit to get to that seed. Now, what am I trying to say? Many of the things you've gone through are the devil's strategy of trying to get to your seed. I want to tell you that no matter what you've been through, no matter your experiences, as far as you are still alive, your seed is still intact. The fruit can be scratched, people can step on the fruit, but most times the seed is always intact. So I want you to remove your focus from the fruit. The fruit can get rotten and spoil and people won't eat it, but the seed remains undieable. There is life in the seed that even when you bury it, it has the ability, it has the capacity to germinate and grow into something you never imagined. That is the mystery behind the seed and the fruit. So let us see your physical being as the fruit. The seed is your spirit man. The seed is what God has invested in you. The devil can send a man to rape you. The devil can send somebody to falsely accuse you. The devil can set up a blogger to drag you on social media. That is him tampering with your fruit. But if you know that there is a seed in you, you will refuse to die. The Bible talked about the parable of the sower. The sower was busy spraying seeds, and some of them fell on thorny grounds, some fell on good ground. But my attention mostly is drawn to the seed that fell on the stony ground. The Bible recorded that this seed did not have much earth. You know, soil is part of the essential things a seed needs to germinate, literally. But this seed didn't have much earth. But guess what? This seed still had the audacity to germinate, even though it didn't have everything it should have to germinate. That is to tell you the power of what a seed is. So, no matter what you've gone through, no matter your experience, no matter the things that you've been through, some of us have been through a lot. Some of us have dated a lot. We've slept with a lot in the same room. Yeah. But that is the devil. I'm not trying to over spiritualize everything. I'm not trying to tell you that spiritual, no. But if you are ignorant of spiritual implication of things, you cannot survive in this realm of the world. You cannot. The devil is always after the seed, and he tries to harm the fruit. So he removes your attention from the seed and put it on the fruit. You can look at yourself now and see yourself as dirty, stinking. Literally, you feel like God has nothing to do with you. Actually, he has nothing to do with the fruit. He's more intentional about the seed. We've read about Samson. Now, when Samson met Delilah was busy playing her tricks. He would tell her, my power is in this one. They will remove that thing. And they will check. They will call him, Samson, these people are there, they are trying to hurt you. He will stand up. What were they trying to do? They were trying to check if that seed is still there. That was what they were doing. If they wanted just the strength alone, they would have taken that thing and went their way. But they wanted to check, is this seed of strength still in this man? Even when they cut off his hair, they did not leave him. They carried him. They wanted to be sure. And guess what? That seed was still in him. Because even though the hair had not grown to the level it got to, the seed in him made it possible for him to still do something in that state of weakness and in his last hope of life. I wish Samson knew what I'm telling you currently. I wish he knew that his seed is still intact. God would have raised somebody whose ministry will be solely to guide Samson because he has become blind. But yet his seed would have remained intact. I don't want you to be like Samson, who would wish for death, who would have suicidal thoughts. You want to die because somebody raped you. You are not the first person to be raped. You're not the first person to be born out of wedlock or to be born by mistake, like many people would say. You're not the first person whose parents are divorced. You're not the first person who did not have a childhood. Some of us, our childhood were taken away from us. And guess what? Even in our state of adulthood, we are taking our childhood back. Yes. How do you do that? Become the child again. I didn't say you should start carrying rubber up and down. That's what I'm going to say. I'm trying to say become playful again. They took away your childhood, yes, you can have it back. Have friends, go out. Don't lock yourself in and pretend that everything is fine when you know you're dying. I'm just trying to give you a word of hope, a word of courage that the devil may have harmed your fruit, but I want you to know that your seed is still intact. And if this seed is still intact, even though buried underneath the ground, it can grow. And when it grows, it will give birth to different fruits. It will give birth to as many fruits as possible. You always wanted to be a doctor, but along the line, the person who was a lesson teacher molested you, you lost interest in your academics. That is not enough reason to give up on your dreams and goals. It is not enough reason. You can rise up again. Even Samson did. You can rise up again. Have they removed your hair? Samson, your hair can grow back. Did they cut off your legs as a soldier, as a warrior who is wounded, who is broken? You can be better. You should take intentional efforts to seek healing. Time will fail me to give you practical steps to healing, but I am just giving you the basics. Because you know what? There is a part of the human spirit that only God has access to. And that is why I'm not here to tell you that according to psychology, you should go out more, you should take a walk in nature, you should exercise. Those things are healthy activity programs according to psychology. That's what they told us. But the main thing is to fix the basics of human existence, which is God. If you fix God, just like one of our ministers told us in our past programs, that if you fix God, every other thing can be fixed. Every other thing around you can be fixed. Your father died, God can give you another father. Fatherhood is not just a function of biological stuff. God can give you a father. He can give you beauty for ashes. You lost a mother. God can give you 5 mother figures in your life so amazing that they can help you. You are the only child. God can give you siblings among your fellow youths in church. That whatever you need a sibling to do for you, they will do it and much more. Jesus is not your family member, but yet he's the friend that sticks closer than a brother. He can give you his duplicates as human beings. What have you lost? You've lost friends. Somebody broke your heart. He promised you marriage and he didn't marry you again. He's not the only man in the world. God will bring another man. God will bring somebody better. He will give you beauty for ashes. That sister that ate your money and left you, Jesus is there to comfort you. Hallelujah. Yes, it happens in church. You know, you already envisioning her. In fact, you've kept the part of your room where her bags, her clothes will be when you people get married. All of a sudden, she saw a brother that has money more than you, and she followed him. And now you are very funny how this happens in church, and most times we tend to overlook it. You see a brother, a young brother of 30 years, is telling you forget all these women. Money is all that matters. Sometimes it's not that that's what they think. It is from experience. It is trauma. You need healing. And Jesus can heal you. The God who gave Ruth to Boaz will bring another sister to you. Why are you worried? Why are you stressing yourself? There's healing for you. You can become better. The most important thing is that your seed is still intact. And I want to tell you, no matter what has happened, as far as you are still alive, your seed is still intact. The devil can harm the fruit. Children can throw stones at the fruit. Nobody even wants the seed because it doesn't look attractive. You may not look like it now, but trust me, people can, even the devil can even take you and bury you just like they bury seeds. And then, all of a sudden, that is why God is greater than man. You see this seed that, sometimes you see farmers, when they put seeds on the ground, they step on it to make sure it's properly buried. And then God steps in. The Bible says Paul plants, Apollos waters, but it is the Lord that giveth increase. He comes in and you see this seed growing. Very small mustard seed like this, but when it grows, birds come to have shade under this great tree. Your parents must have told you wonderful visions and dreams they had before your birth. That is your seed. You may have had dreams of you standing in front of crowds, multitudes, speaking, and people were jumping and shouting and getting value. And something happened, and maybe you feel like, no, that dream can no longer be you. I want to tell you that your seed is still intact. And if you would take the decision to first of all fix God in your life, and then secondly, seek healing, seek counsel. Healing is not something you can do alone. It is not something that happens in a day. I'm saying this now, maybe your heart is pumped and you feel like that's healing. That is emotions, that is ecstasy. It is not healing. Healing is in you changing your routines. Healing is in the gradual steps you take to become better. Healing is in the gradual steps you take to fix what has been broken. So don't just stop here, please. Seek counsel. Speak up. We have people who are qualified, people that can help you become better. We are blessed with resource persons, so you will not say they are lacking. Finally, and in conclusion, I want to tell you that you are qualified for healing and you can become better. Thank you very much for staying with us in today's program. God bless you and we love you. So, see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is day 2. And from day 1, you should know that day 2 is, it's step by step from glory to glory. And we can't wait to have you. Please share the link to your friends. Everybody you think needs to have this information that we're sharing. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube video so that you can get more inspiring content, because we don't expect to stop at this program. We have a lot in store for you. Thank you for joining us. God bless you.
Beside us to guide us, our God with us joining, ordaining, maintaining His kingdom divine. So from the beginning, the fight we were winning. Lord, thine be all the glory.